Yeah, I mean, I kind of alluded to this Sunday after the game. I feel like there's been a lot of conversation, about me, but I feel like anytime you win awards like that, it's a collective group, and man, we rushed the ball for over 200 yards, and it's nothing that you guys aren't familiar with. You don't do that unless the guys up front play really well. So I look at that more as like a collective award, and man, the biggest thing is that we were able to get the win, and we did what we had to do to do that.
Do you think what you did Sunday, I don't know if this is the right terminology or whatever, okay, but does that warrant more snaps or whatever, or? How do
You
you
know,
look at
I don't try not to get too caught up in that. I trust our coaches in what we're doing, and I think some weeks, there's some advantages, more emphasis, and various things like that. And those guys spend so much time breaking the film down, putting together a plan to make sure that myself and the rest of our skill guys are put in the right opportunity to be successful. So. Yeah, I think that's really, really where my mind is at right now. And I think the more that I can do there, I think it creates opportunities for other guys in other places. And so, man, this thing is just evolving, and we'll just see where we go.
Jason, when Pete tells you at halftime, we think we can do this and we think we can do a little bit more of that to be effective, does that kind of, I guess, get the adrenaline flowing a little bit more?
No, I think that's kind of like as I enter a game plan or a game or whatever, I think that's kind of the expectation that these plays are going to get called. And so, generally at halftime, we make some adjustments. But as you guys know, that halftime goes so fast. I think most of the time we come out and we say, hey, these are the things that we want to get to. And going into a game, you expect those plays to get called anyways. So I will say, I don't know that it really changes my mindset. I think it helps having a heads up because, you have an expectation of what to plan, prepare for going into the second half.
Hey, Jason. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, but I was gonna say, was there any thought of dialing back special teams duties then, or?
At that time?
In there?
No, I was just kind of in there, man. Look, obviously Deontay went down, and they need some help on kickoff return, and so that was one of those things that wasn't going to go away because we needed some help there. So, again, that's just I'm there, and if Riz needs some help, he kind of grabs me early in the week and says, "Hey, this is what we're thinking. Be ready and available because I might need you in these situations or circumstances." So it's trying to find that balance, and this thing is evolving and it changes, and with Jameis being banged up and stuff, this thing is just it's a fluid deal.
As far as, I'm sorry, after the game, Dennis said that they'd like to involve you more in the passing game and haven't had an opportunity to do that. For you, I mean, we haven't seen you throw the ball a lot. You're practicing with the tight end. How much throwing do you do? How much do you need to get in shape to not feel rusty, so to say?
Yeah, that's a good question. Look, this training camp, I really didn't take any reps at quarterback, and in the coach's defense, like I was banged up. I had some ribs that I was dealing with through training camp and stuff. So I think the last few weeks it's been an added emphasis for me to make sure that I'm still staying sharp. But this offseason, the emphasis wasn't at the quarterback spot. It was making sure that I could do the other stuff too. So. Look, I've been doing it my whole life, so I still feel comfortable doing it, and I've got a nice little routine now. The last few weeks where I feel comfortable doing all of that.
I thought when Dennis said that in the context of the question, I thought he meant receiving. He said passing game, but it was a reference to the question. This is my question to the fact that you just got one pass this year. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a fair comment too. I think both perspectives there probably make sense. And look, we have a lot of things that different opportunities for me, and again, it's one of those things that you kind of prepare for during the week, and then if your number gets called in the game, then you try and go take advantage of that. But, you know, again, every game's a little bit different. You know, early this year, we kind of fallen behind, and so our game plan was shifted. We were in a lot of 2-minute situations, and, you know, that is what it is.
Taysom, I know it feels like we've spent 6 years asking you how comfortable you are being patient in whatever unique role it is. How about the first 4 or 5 weeks of this season? Were you, I mean, was it getting frustrating that there weren't a lot of opportunities? And then how rewarding, you know, was it to
Yeah.
see that a game like this was just around the corner?
Look, I've been doing it long enough, you know, that I try not to get frustrated. You know, I think the thing that becomes hard is when you start to lose games, you know, like nobody likes losing. I certainly don't like losing. But I trust our staff and the opportunities they create for not only me, the rest of our guys. And I'm realistic in knowing that we got a lot of talent offensively, and guys need to get the ball and get touches and stuff. And so, man, I try not to get too caught up in that. I think early in your career, it's a little bit harder to not always think about those things. But man, I would say I'm at a point in my career now where, you know, I'm comfortable with where I'm at. You know, I don't want that to be, you know, viewed as complacent in any way, because I'm hungry. I want all the opportunities and various things like that. But I know that they'll come my way.
Well, so you say earlier in your career it's probably harder, but I guess what's interesting in your situation is since this was the first year you weren't competing for the quarterback job, I mean, were you more questioning, okay, what is my next path then to, you know, because I think you always had that quarterback future job as sort of an end game goal. Like,
Sure.
is it harder to figure out what the end game goal is now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think early this offseason, I hadn't had a lot of conversations with DA specifically about what his vision was for me. And I know that he came out and had conversations with you guys about what that was going to be, but that was, you know, me trying to have conversations with him, but then also having conversations with Pete. And, you know, I really didn't know what it all meant, if I'm being honest. And I guess that's what I've kind of alluded to, that this is just a fluid situation, you know, and I think it all changed when Jameis got hurt. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm taking a few more QB snaps during practice and everything else. So, look, I think it would be easy for me to look at it and say, man, this is a tough situation because I've got 2 feet and, you know, 1 foot in one room and 1 foot in the other. But man, I'm grateful for all the opportunities that I have been given, and I'm at a point in my career where I'm just gonna do my best in whatever opportunity it is, and that's really where my mindset is. And I think if I start to worry about anything other than that, then you start to go a little crazy.
We got time for one more.
Taysom, about when did you find out your role was changing if you didn't have those conversations?
You talking about this offseason? I mean, DA and I had a conversation. I don't remember the time frame. You know, it was spring of this year, about the same time you guys were told.
It's about OTAs.
Yeah, about that time. All good?